Hi, and welcome to the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I'm your host, Tiffany Parson, and I just realized, I don't know, I think I knew but forgot that I could just record directly here on YouTube and save myself a step. So that is what I'm doing, testing, recording the podcast directly to YouTube. Don't be afraid to try out things and see what happens. A lot of times people will sit back and ask questions and not try for themselves. It's like looking at my laptop. My laptop is right here in front of me. And it's like putting my hands behind my back and asking you, what will happen if I press the letter X? What will happen if I hit the big button? What will happen if I try to slide my finger along the screen? Those are the kind of questions. Instead of asking what will happen, try it and find out for yourself. And these times, we don't have a lot of time to sit back and wait for someone to answer those type of questions. We just got to jump out there and see what happens. This is something I want to encourage you, and that is when all of this happened, when everything got shut down, maybe you were sent home and you have been stuck. Take out a piece of paper. Write down everything you did on your job. Every single thing. In that list that you write down, there are things that you can provide as a service in your virtual assistant business. Once you've got that list, I want you to head to Upwork and start researching who needs what you're already doing or what you were already doing in the corporate world. Who needs it right now? Let me tell you, I have had clients invite me to projects on Upwork. I had a client who I haven't worked with probably in over 6 months on Upwork come back. If you provide great service, people will not forget it. They will come back to you again and again. And if they don't come back right away, they will come back later. But for right now, make out a list of everything that you do or have done on your corporate job and research that on Upwork. And then what I want you to do is let me know, what all did you find out? What were you surprised about? This is where people are going to look for help. Lots of people have been online since mid-March because they didn't have a choice. And guess what? You and I have been on here for a while. Even if you've just been researching, you've just been making lists, you've been online. You're familiar with various things. The fact that you are a virtual assistant business owner, or you want to be a virtual assistant business owner, says that you're not afraid of the internet. Some people avoided Facebook, they avoided Instagram, they avoided Zoom, they avoided email newsletters, and now they don't have a choice. It's the only way, and things aren't going to change. So I encourage you to go ahead and do that. Post in the comments what your findings are. I am getting ready to do a group coaching call with the Virtual Assistant Business Owner Circle. And this is a group of virtual assistant business owners who want to take their business to the next level. We do a coaching and a training. I answer their questions and help them along their way, whether it's issues with pricing or what service to provide, helping them get unstuck and get them moving so that they can have the kind of business that they want. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and go to tiffanyparson.com, click on membership, and you'll get more information about the Virtual Assistant Business Owner Circle. If you have a question for me specifically about the program, you can post that in the comments either on YouTube or on Facebook or on the blog, wherever you happen to be watching the video. And if you're listening to me on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever, feel free to find me on Facebook. Look for the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. The exact link is facebook.com/TBBVA. And if you say it out loud, the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant, you'll find me that way. Or just go to YouTube and look it up from there. This same podcast made me think about, I had put out an email to my VIP list and I asked people to respond back. I was doing a check-in because I really wanted to know what is happening. Where are people? I know what's happening in my world. I have been running just like crazy, and I don't mean literally running. I mean my fingers running like crazy from one thing to the next, helping clients, those who've been online all this time and amping it up, those who were kind of coasting along and need to amp it up. So a mix of both things going on and helping them getting moving. So I've been just running since March 16th. Every time I hear about people are chilling, Netflix and chill and all that, I have not seen a Netflix or a Hulu since I don't know when. Can't remember. In fact, I think we don't even have those subscriptions anymore. Anyway, point being, I have not had time to sit and binge watch anything, not even the shows that I like. If it's a show that I like, I might start watching it and fall asleep. That's what's going on in my world. No complaints. I am grateful for every single client, every single second that I have an opportunity to serve and help other business owners and get them moving forward. So I put out this email to those on the VIP list and wanted to hear back to see what's going on, because I know people are losing jobs. People are on furloughs, layoffs. People are homeschooling kids, all in the midst of trying to run their business or right when they were ready to hit go on their business. And so I wanted to do a check-in, and everybody that I heard from is doing well. And I'm glad to know that those who responded are doing well. And I am praying for everyone during this time to keep your sensibilities, to critically think about the information being presented, not just taking it all in and not asking questions. A lot of times we get into things, missteps, because we don't ask questions. If something doesn't seem right to you, that is your prerogative to keep poking and asking questions until you get some understanding, whether you agree with it or not. So anyway, I just wanted to pop on. I am a little late with the episode because, again, I have been running. I'm trying to hold it all together. Man. But anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you hang out with me and listen to the podcast. I have been getting emails as well from people who want to be featured on the podcast or be interviewed on the podcast. And that's just not the kind of podcast that we have here at the Business of Being a Virtual Assistant. I'm happy to answer questions, and maybe one day I'll set it up to where you can call and ask your questions or submit a video and ask your questions. But I really want it to be a platform where I'm able to help and not a situation where people want to come and pitch to you guys whatever it is they're doing. In the early days, I tried interviewing, and with scheduling and vetting the right people and making sure it's a good chemistry. It's a lot of work to do an interview type podcast, and I just don't have the capacity to do it in that way. So thank you, those of you who did email, reach out. I really appreciate that as well. Hopefully you actually listen to the podcast, but you'll see the format is just me answering questions and also things that come to mind in our world. So anyway, I have talked longer than I thought I would, It's all good. This is episode number 181. I will see you next week. And again, I look for any of your questions. Oh, and for those of you that have been joining us on our journey, reading The Power of Broke, we are almost done. We got 2 more Mondays to go. Thanks for those of you that are hanging out with us on Facebook on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we review a chapter from a book a month. So this month it was Power of Broke, and this was selected before the coronavirus outbreak. Timely, right? So anyway, it might not be broke financially, but maybe mentally you're feeling broke. And so this teaches us how we can use that mindset as fuel to take off in our businesses. All right, I am out of here. You have a wonderful and fantastic day.